Welcome to George's Fortnite School. In this video I'm going to show you all the ways to edit a wall in Fortnite. There are quite a few of them, so I'm going to get straight on with it. So first of all, you can do windows. So if you select any of these three squares in the middle row, so let's say for example the left one, then you get a window on the left. If you select the middle one, you get a window in the middle, and of course if you select the one on the right, you get a window on the right. You can also do a window on the right and a window on the left, like that. You can also do doors, so it's very similar, but as well as selecting this square, you also select the one beneath it, and that gives you a door there, so door on the left. You can also do a door in the middle, and you can do a door on the right. Now you can also do a window and a door, so you have to have the door on the left or the right, and then you just put the window on the opposite side, like that. And of course you can do the same thing the other way around. Next up, you can do corner edits. So if you select three squares that are in one of the corners, so let's say top right corner for example, it will remove that corner and just leave the bottom left corner in this case. And you can do that on all four corners, so top left gives you something like that, bottom right is like that, and then bottom left is like that. Okay, you can also remove a square. So if you can only do this in the bottom, so you can move the bottom right four squares, and that gives you a kind of half archway, like so. And I'll show you over here, you can do the same thing on the left, and if you do two of them, then you get this archway like that. You can also do a full arch, so just in one tile. So if you just remove the bottom row like this and the middle square, then you get an arch like so. Okay, you can also do a vertical column. So if you remove two columns, so the middle column and the right column for example, then you get this column on the left, and you can also do that on the right. But you can't do that. You can't do a middle column like that. You can also do a lower wall. So if you just remove the top row, then you get a sort of half height wall, like so. If you remove the top row and the middle row, then you actually get an even lower wall, like that. Okay, you can also do a lower wall with a door in it. So the way you do this is you remove the top row, and then you basically just select the two where you want the door to be. So for example like that, or in the middle, or over on the left. And finally, you can also do a low wall that's only half the width. So there's actually four different ways to do this. So first of all, if you remove the top row, so that's as if you were going to go for a half height wall like that. So you remove the top row, but then also remove all of these four squares on the bottom right. So just leaving behind those two squares. Then what you get is a half height and half width wall. So it's basically just taking out the bottom left corner in this case, and obviously we can do the same thing, removing the bottom left and then leaving that on the bottom right. So I'll just leave that there actually so you can see for a comparison with the next one, which is where we do a very low wall and then we remove one of the ends like this, and again it just does a half width wall, but this time it's even lower than before. And of course we can also do that on the other side. So if we remove the bottom right tile, then it will be like that. Okay, so that's all the ways that you can edit a wall in Fortnite. And finally, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to use wall edits effectively when you're fighting. So a really common situation that you might find yourself in is that you're boxed up and there's a player outside your box that you want to shoot. So it could be a player just in front of your box, you want to take a shot and then reset your wall so that you can't be shot back. Or perhaps it could be somebody further away, you're going to take some AR shots and again reset your wall. So when you're using wall edits in this way, it's important to choose your edit carefully so that you can take advantage of right hand peek. So I'll just quickly explain what I mean by right hand peek. So let's say we've got this box here that we're trying to shoot at. So maybe there's a player in this wooden box and we just want to spray them with our AR. We're going to use this wall in front of us for cover. Now when you do this, you should always come and peek out of the right hand side of the wall rather than the left-hand side of the wall. And the reason for that is because your character's body is going to be much less exposed on the right-hand side. This is because the player holds their gun on the right-hand side of their body. So if we have a look at the character here, you can see the shotgun is over on the right-hand side of the body. And this means that you're much less exposed when you peek out the right side. So if we come over to the left here, in order to actually be able to shoot that wooden box, we have to come all the way out to here. At this point, this brick wall is not really protecting me at all. My body is almost completely exposed. Whereas on the right hand side, we can actually do that. So just to show you one thing that's useful to know is that little red cross that keeps popping up there. So that actually means that my shot is being blocked by the wall in front of me. So even though my reticle, the Amy thing, is pointing at the wooden wall, when I shoot, it's actually going to hit this brick wall in front of me. But I only have to come a little bit further out, and now I can actually shoot that wall. And you can see that my character is much more protected by this brick wall than they were over on the left. So you should take advantage of this whenever you're doing wall edits in order to shoot somebody. So instead of going for a top left corner edit, which leaves you quite exposed, because although you can hide behind this wall, when you do jump out to shoot, you're going to be taking a left-hand peek. Instead, you should go for this top right corner edit, so you can hide behind the wall and then take your shot, taking advantage of right-hand peek. And that's actually a really common edit that players will do, and it's especially effective if you have a roof over you. So I'll show you what happens without the roof. It still works, but when you jump up, you stay in the air for a lot longer, so you're more exposed. When you actually have the roof over the top, the roof pushes you back down. So if we're here, we jump up, we take a shot, and we're only exposed for a brief fraction of a second. And this same principle applies when choosing other edits. So for example, always advisable to go for a right-hand window peek rather than a left-hand window peek, which again forces you to take a left-hand peek, which we don't want to do. Same thing, maybe you might be using a door edit to shoot some players. Again, use the right-hand door and not the left-hand door. And the same thing with other edits that you might do. For example, one like this, you've got that bit of wall on the left, and you can just take a right-hand peek instead of a left-hand peek. Okay, so that's all the ways to edit a wall in Fortnite, and some tips and tricks on how to use it in fights. If there are any other topics that you'd like to see videos on, just let me know in the comments.